backup of network. You are mute.
Some of them share.
Sorry for the interruption. Yeah.
Okay,
so
now
sir,
countdown happening.
3, 2, 1. We are live to the audience. We can start this meeting. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, friends, and welcome to Life Pharma Coalition, our weekly elixir for learning and development for the pharma professionals. It's said that when a drop of water falls in a lake, it loses its identity. But when the same drop of water falls on a leaf, it shines. In fact, Life Pharma Coalition is that leaf where every person who comes on as a speaker, as a panelist, as a moderator, shines and spreads the light of learning to each and everyone associated with Life Pharma Coalition. We have all heard about the glass half full or half empty. Well, it says about the mindset of ours. If a person says that the glass is half full, we say that the person has a positive mindset. But a person saying that the glass is half empty, we often denote him as a negative person. But if you ask me whether the glass is half full or half empty, I will say that the glass is completely full. Half with finite realities and half with infinite possibilities. So that's called a glass totally full. And that is what learning and development is all about, because it can take us to infinite possibilities. In our professional life, where we reach is not dependent where we start from. It's totally what we do in between, because that is a place where learning and development plays a pivotal part in designing our career journey. We all know about the boiling water experiment. If we put a potato inside the boiling water, the potato gets soft. But in the same boiling water, if we put an egg, it hardens. Now, when we put some coffee beans into the same boiling water, what happens? Well, there is an aroma, there is a fragrance which spreads across the entire environment. And that is what learning and development is all about. It is spreading across each and everybody who is coming in contact. And learning is just like a river, because it is constantly flowing and touching each and every shore of a person. And that is how we get enlightened. And Life Pharma Coalition is exactly that coffee bean, which is spreading the aroma of learning and development to each and every person week after week. And thank you so much for our audience for keeping trust and faith in us and joining the endeavor of learning and development by sharing your thoughts, sharing your ideas, and sharing your experiences. So now we come to Life Pharma Coalition 123. So I will now share my screen to tell you about the journey of LPC so far. So welcome to Life Pharma Coalition, which is the world's largest online pharma discussion platform. And it has been possible because of the participation of more than 45 plus companies as well as institutions with over 125 plus speakers and 20,000 reach on Facebook as well as YouTube. And it has been because of the support of a strong executive member team of 28 strong members who are spread across the length and breadth of the globe. Well, this was the event which we had in the month of March at Mumbai, the LPC 100 Conclave. And thank you so much for your overwhelming support for LPC and for any type of collaborations that you would like to associate with Life Pharma Coalition. Please get in touch with Mr. Raman, Mr. Yashwant, Mr. ICS, or me. Now, these are the leaders who were a part of the Life Pharma Coalition 100 celebration, and they were very much instrumental in the success of the LPC 100 Conclave. And this photograph is reminiscent of the wonderful time we had at LPC 100 Conclave at Mumbai. Now, the mega event that we are all waiting for is the LPC 125 Conclave, which is going to be at Ahmedabad. And it is on the 11th of September. The time is between 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. There has been a change in venue because of the overwhelming support of our patrons. we have already had a registration of more than 150, for which we have changed the venue to Novotel, the Crystal Ballroom, which can give us an accommodation of over 200 participants. So keep booking the early bird and join this wonderful platform for learning and sharing. And in fact, we are having some of the best pharma leaders who are going to be a part of the LPC 125 conclave. So for any registration, please contact Mr. Yashwant, Mr. Raman, Mr. ICS or me at our mobile numbers given below. This journey wouldn't have been possible without the support of Imagica Health. In fact, Imagica Health explores the intersection between design, digital health technology, and content marketing for the leading brands, because they have an ex-marketeer-led team of medical writer, graphic designer, steamers, coders who serve the pharmaceuticals for bettering customer engagement, bringing patient centricity, improving the control on the sales team, and increasing the return on investment for their various marketing campaigns. So thank you, Imagica Health, for being a constant support, and we look forward to your support in our coming days. So coming to LPC 123, today we have Mr. Rahul Shankar as a speaker, who is DGM Sale, Make Money Life Sciences, and the topic that he is going to dwell upon is motivating the field force and building a high performance team. Our second speaker on the panel is Mr. P. Chokalingam, who is the marketing head, Micro Labs, and today he will be touching on managing legacy brands and extending the product life cycle. Along with me, I also have Mr. Yashwant Mishra as a panelist, and who is a sales trainer and leadership coach, and he is a founder director of Benzene Ring Learning Solutions. So thank you so much, LPC 122 Young, which was last week, and it had a great reach on Facebook as well as YouTube. Now it's time for me to hand over the next part of the session to Yashwant Mishra, sir. Sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, Raman. Thank you very much, Arpan, for excellent inaugural speech, as always, dynamic, energetic. And at the onset, I would like to thank each and every viewer, because bringing LPC to this juncture is quite not possible without the support of our viewers and the speakers who have been continuously supporting us, encouraging us to bring LPC to consistently toward the greater heights. So we are humbled, we are grateful to each and every one of you, and we look forward for same affection in future also, when we are trying to make LPC as a global platform physically also. Having said that, today's market, pharma market, if you see, there is a changing dynamics. Landscape is changing. What is happening, if you all will agree with me, is that most of the MNCs are closing their operations. Then, due to pandemic, many of the businesses are struggling to revive. Many of the close downs, restructuring happening. Another important element is digitalization, adaptation of digitalization happening. And the most important part is MCI and UCPMP guidelines and regulatories. So companies are in a dilemma, what next? So in this juncture, today we are here to discuss two of the very relevant topics: how to motivate the sales force and build a high performance team. And second term is very important, building a legacy brand and extending PLC. So I would like to welcome today's speakers. Rahul sir, welcome. Mr. Rahul Shankar is DGM Sales, Make Money Life Sciences. Rahul sir, welcome to LPC. Thank you for accepting our invite. A brief overview of your topic, Rahul Shankar.
Thank you, Yashwantji. Thank you, Arpan, for giving a very insight of LPC. And as we discussed yesterday, today, one of the major problems industry is facing is attrition. And because of attrition, companies are not able to build the performing teams, because one person leaves, then another person leaves, then what happens? The team breaks. In today's scenario, when we were medical representative at that particular time, the time has changed. We were into one company and we never thought of changing the company. While in today's scenario, every 2 years, a person changes a company. When I take an interview in 10 years, would have changed 5 companies. And that is one of the biggest challenge for companies to perform. And as you said that multinationals are closing the operations, and Indian companies, one of the major reasons is their high cost, and Indian companies are not able to bear that cost, and that is why they are having high attrition. So I will be focusing on a few points on how we can retain the people, because the first thing is only with a professional approach, we cannot retain people. We have to be having some personal approach also, and that will more work, because in ancient times only there was no professional approach. It was only personal approach which has made the teams. So I will be focusing on that one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Looking forward to learn from you. And our second speaker today is P. Chokalingam, sir. He is the marketing head in Micro Labs. Sir, thank you very much, first of all, for accepting our invite and being a part of LPC on your personal day, that is Sunday. So, sir is joining from Bangalore. Sir, a brief overview of your topic. Unmute, please. Unmute.
As you, thank you, Yashwanji. As you rightly, my throat is a little bad. Excuse me.
No issue. No issue.
Yeah.
No issue.
Yeah, as you said in your intro talk, the dynamics of pharma industry changing, correct, and more so in new normal. As you rightly said, company looks for a growth with optimized spend or even less spend. And also in last the COVID era, the way we market the product has been changed. Correct. So more digitalization adoption has come. So company wants both top line and bottom line at less spend, optimization spend. It is not only resource rich in the past, it is resource optimization is the current era, whether it is a marketing or manpower. So in such cases, the legacy brand play important role, correct? So in many companies, even as you rightly highlighted, some of the MNC companies has got more than 50% dependency from legacy brand, correct? And some of the brands is in Indian companies ranging from 30 to 40% dependence on from a top companies employed. So 20% contributions come from legacy brands. So how do we ensure that with very, very minimal spend and still we can sustain the growth? And there are two important elements: is either we can grow also market beating growth and ensure better profitability in certain category of the brand. Another brand, we may not be able to grow well. We can sustain the growth, maybe a negative growth, sustain the growth with very, very less spend, controlling the spend, which result in bottom line as well as top line. So this is important way of looking at this. And most importantly, many SBU must have come across. It also has got legacy as well as progressive brand. The field force has striking the balance between two. It is a big challenge, correct? They always go for a low-hanging fruits. And at this cost, the progressive and star brands growth get halted. Okay, my talk is going to address these issues.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Very relevant topic you also shared, Lingam, sir. I remember during our Cipla days, we used to say that legacy brand are the bread earner for the organizations. Across all the organizations, whatever investment in new brands companies are doing, that is because of the profit generated on legacy brands, right? Whatever the scientific symposiums, new brand launching, all the cost, even salaries of all the employees comes from the legacy brands. And we used to call, don't worry, Chacha abhi jinda hai. So legacy brands are known as Chacha of the organization. They are going to support the entire organization. So we look forward for your talk also, sir. Thank you very much. So now we'll go to the first session today, a lot of learning. So Rahul sir is going to share with us about the motivation and building a high performance team. And a brief profile of Rahul sir. Rahul Shankar sir is currently Deputy General Manager in Make Money Life Sciences. It is a very big organization venturing into formulations in India. And Rahul sir is having 27 years of experience in pharmaceuticals, equal to me and Arpan. We all three exactly started in 1994 because we all three having 27 years of experience in pharmaceuticals. And in this journey, he has worked in Merck, Sanofi, Wellness Life Sciences, and InnoCare Life Sciences. And not only that, Rahul sir has worked across functions, right from sales, marketing, sales force effectiveness, training and development, and leadership. So, sir, thank you very much once again. Over to you.
Thank you, Yashwanji. Thank you. Thanks a lot. And
you can share your presentation.
As we have discussed, one of the major issues today in the industry is attrition, and that is why they are not able to build teams. This is a major challenge for today's managers for building performing team. What are the challenges I think current industry is facing? As I said, one of the major challenges is attrition, because of which leadership development is not happening. Because of this, unable to build the teams, and naturally performance is affected. These are the major challenges I think industry is facing today. And why it is happening? When I see why it is happening, I found people are not career oriented, they are more commercial gain oriented. A company will give 10-20,000 more, they will shift easily. So earlier in our times, we were career oriented. We stick to one company for 8-10 years so that we can build the career, but that is not there. So long-term association today is not there. Don't care attitude is there by, okay, 2 years I will be here, 3 years I will be here. And that is why from team performance to individual performance, I will perform here, I will go back somewhere for 2, 3, 20,000, 30,000. That is the paradigm shift which has taken place in last 20-27 years of my journey. Why when I look into what are the probable reasons of this paradigm shift, one of the reasons what I see is nuclear families, away from teamwork of joint family. When we were small, we were always in a joint family, and that is why from joint family actually we have learned teamwork. What one has to do, what other has to do, what has to be done in a crisis situation. But today, people are living in a nuclear family, so they don't know how to work in a joint family. And that actually is also reflecting in their professional life, because they don't have any such experience. They are failing in the professional life also. Second is technology has taken away from them stories like Ramayana, Mahabharata, Panchtantra, Jatak Kathaएं, which have actually, which would have shown them the path of morality, values, and how to work with moralities and values. This is very small. Earlier, we used to learn stories from our grandparents, and we used to use it in our life. But today, because of nuclear families and also technology, people are more tech savvy. They can do anything on their laptops, mobiles, but they will not read books. And this is one of the major reasons where morals and values are going down. And when morals or values are going down, it is more of commercial gain than a long-term association. And thirdly, many times I think companies are also responsible for this, because they are more focusing on performance than development of the people. So professional pressure is also many times, and a person thinks that there is no development of mine, only performance is required by the company. So let me go somewhere where I can get better money for my performance. So these are major 3 reasons which I think are because of high attrition and low performing teams. I will go back to mythology, which I think are a great example of building teams. The first I will take from Ramayana, and then I will go to Mahabharata. In 2 yugs, Treta and Dwapar, I will compare. And how they were, Lord Ram and Lakshman were able to build a good team, a performing team with the help of Sugriv, because first of all, they were having a very clear goal, what to do. Today, many times when we see our leaders, they don't have a clear goal, what they want to achieve. And when they don't have a clear goal, they are not able to communicate also to their team what is the objective. So I think one of the winning factors for Lord Ram was that he was having a clear goal. Explaining the mission, as I said, explaining it to the team, what they have to do and what should be the outcome. And as I said, many a times today's managers fails in explaining the outcomes as well as what needs to do. The third thing is identification of strengths of team members. If I see Lord Ramayana only, you will find that every member's strength was notified and he was assigned the work as per his strength. Like Angad was given the work of messenger, while Nalnil were given the task of building the Setu. Jamwant was used as an advisor because he was the most wise of them. So identification of strength and then delegation of their work according to their strength is very important. And finally, whatever be the situation, worst or bad, whether it was Lakshman who was at one time he wanted Sanjeevani Booty, or at one time Ahiravana has took Ram and Lakshman, but whatever be the time of crisis, don't lose your values and culture. If you are going to focus on your values and culture at any given time, you are going to win. Maybe the time may take, but you are going to win. I think these are Ramayana is one of the best example how teams can be built, because Ram was never knowing Sugriv. Ram was never knowing Hanuman. But when they came together, they worked as a team. Ram was never knowing Vibhishan. But when they came together, they worked together, and at the end of the day, they achieved the goal. That is what is required in today's world also. The second example I will take is from Mahabharata. When the team was starting, when the war was starting, both Kauravas and Pandavas started reaching out to other kings. So what they were doing, they were identification of right candidate. I think what today, when we are going into market, the first thing which we are feeling is the right candidate. Whoever comes to us for an interview, we take him because we have to fill our vacancy. This is not the right way. We have to identify the right candidate. Like Kauravas and Pandavas, at that particular time, somebody went to Magad king, somebody went to Shalk, Raja Shalk, somebody went to the other person. So they have identified the right people who can be in their team. The second thing is making a strategy. Chakravyuh was a great strategy, and placing the right people at the right place, as they have played Jayadratha. At some point of time, he knows, Duryodhan was knowing that only Jayadratha can stay in the Chakravyuh. So making the right strategy and placing the right people at the right place is very important for winning any particular game. Role of a coach, I think a very different from Ramayana. I will come back on comparison also. Lord Krishna has never fought. He has not even killed one soldier, but he played a role of a brilliant coach. I think the best coach in the world even today, I can say, is Lord Krishna, who has only shown the path, Gita, how to go about it. Karmane vadikaraste, karm karte raho, phal ki chinta mat karo. That kind of coach today we are missing. Why we are missing? Because of, as I said, earlier factors. So I think that today's leaders have to be a good coach. Don't teach, be a coach. Leadership, no matter how many warriors you have, आपकी टीम में बहुत सारे लोग होंगे कौरव्स की तरह, but if they are not having the right leadership attitude, you cannot win. So what is important is you don't need too many people, but you have the right people so that you can have the leadership. And one team, one mission. When Kauravas were fighting, everybody was fighting for his self-esteem. Karna will fight for his self-esteem, Bhishma will fight for his self-esteem, Dronacharya will fight for his self-esteem, but only Pandavas were fighting for one goal. So that is why one team, one mission is very important. And many times when I see today's companies, today's teams, one team, one mission, I can't see in many of the teams. And this is one of the reasons of failing the teams. What are the learnings from Treta to Dwapar? Ramayana was a pure philosophy of a leadership. Leadership by showing the way, how to do the same thing. But Mahabharata, from Treta to Dwapar, is a change. Leadership is not only about showing the way, it is about coaching, how to coach. And there's difference between showing a way and coaching a way. In coaching, you have to bring the insight in the person, and that is very important. Like Krishna said, when Arjun was about to leave the war, he has coached Arjun that whatever you do, it is Atma and there is no person. So how to coach? It is very important. And coaching today, I think, is lacking in most of the managers. The second thing is assign roles as per individual strength. Ramayana, we have seen that as per his strength, Angad was assigned some role, Hanuman was assigned another role. But when it comes to Mahabharata, many times individual work cannot perform, and that is why what is required is a teamwork. So many times, and this is the problem in today's world, most of the managers think that they will do everything on their own. They cannot do 5 people work. So they have to work in teams. Ramayana says values and cultures has to be followed, as I said, whether it is Lakshman Ghayal or Airavan has taken it or various things. But Ram has never lost values and culture. But Mahabharata says if the opponent is not following the values and culture, maybe at some point of time to achieve your mission, you also have to forget that same, like they have done with Dronacharya, and some other examples are there. But at the end of the day, what is important is focusing on their mission. And I am not deviating. I am only deviating because you are deviating. So many times when you are in a competition, values and culture are very important. But a slight deviation without deviating from basic values, a slight deviation can be possible just to complete your mission. That is from Mahabharata. And Ramayana says goals have to be achieved, but Mahabharata says goals to be achieved within timelines. Like almost Ram has taken 1 year for rescuing of Sita in the exile, but Mahabharata finished in 18 days. So Mahabharata gives a clear-cut guideline that when we are going to achieve goals, they should have a clear-cut timelines. So this is, I think, the learnings from 2 of the epics, from Treta to Dwapar. So there is a quote that a successful organization is the one where everyone feels powerful, energized, and motivated. This can be achieved only when individuals are both skilled in their function and are great human beings. What does this mean? I will come in the next slides. According to me, what is a team? The first pillar of a team is trust. If there is no trust, there is no team. Now, it is the responsibility of today's managers to build the trust. And trust can be built only by walking the talk. You cannot say that you have to come at 9 a.m. and I will come at 10 a.m. Walk the talk is very important. You cannot say I am going to stop your salary. You have to develop the people. Trust has to be created. Trust cannot be created in one day. So you have to walk the talk. Your actions should be basic what your words are saying. And if your actions are relating to your words, one day the trust is going to be built. If the trust is there, I think half the job is there. Second thing is empathy. Today managers, even somebody wants a 1-day leave, he will say, no, you cannot go on a leave. Oh, what will happen to call average? What will happen to coverage? Okay, you coach him, na? That okay, you are taking a leave, no issues. Come tomorrow we can have 12 calls. Next day we can have 13 calls. At the end of the day, the end has to be there, and empathy is very important. Somebody is having sick baby, and somebody told me long back, it was a long story, one of my colleagues told me that his wife was being delivered and he was in the field with his manager. So how the trust will be built in such a condition? Adaptive to all the situations. A leader has to be adaptive. What is going in the market? What is happening in the team? He has to be adaptive. And many times in today's world, nobody wants to be adaptive. They want to change the world according to their situation. World is not going to change as per your situation. You have to change yourself as per the situation. And this is the biggest factor in a team. And finally, I think the best of out is, what is my role in this team? Most of the managers today don't know what is there. Either they start performing the role of HR, they start performing the role of a TBM or medical representative. Many times they start performing the role of a RBM, but they don't know what is their role. And this is one of the biggest factors today industry is facing, that I, as a manager, don't know what is my role. And if I don't know what is my role, how can I aim on my particular goal? This is one of the problems the industry is facing. So what is my success mantra for them? Well, first, as I said, identification of the team is very important. Right candidate is very important. My mantra is focus on will. Skill can be developed, but will, if he is not willing, don't take such a candidate. Skill can be developed, but will is very important. And that is why I say, if you focus on will, which has to be 80%, if out of 100%, 80% has to be will, and only 20% has to be skill. Because if will is there, he will build the skill. So when you are identifying the right candidate, focus on will and not the skill. Know your team. Team is your extended family. Remember, when you were doing something wrong, your father would have also scolded you. Many a times he would have said that I am throwing you out of the house today. But he would have never thrown you out of the house. He would have taken you out inside the house also at some point of time. He would have given you food also at that point of time. Your team is your extended family. Know about them everything. What his father does, what his mother does, how they are. At least visit your team members once in months. Go with a packet of chocolate of 50 rupees, not an issue, for their son or daughter or whatever it is. But if you are going to know them, you are going to work them with as an extended family, they are not going to leave you. As in the initial, Mr. Yashwant said, motivation. After 2-3 days, 4 days, no motivation. Why? Because we are not behaving them with as a family. We are behaving them, okay, you have got incentive. Next one again you will get. Today incentive, even lakhs of rupees is not a motivator, because the time has changed. Today people like quality of time, quality work they want. And one of the major areas by which you can provide them quality is treat them as your extended family. If you will treat them as your extended family, they are going to stay with you. Once they are going to stay with you, automatically your performance pressure will be released. So my advice is, treat them, your team members, as your extended family. Call them at your house for a lunch. Go to their house for a cup of tea. That is going to build the bonds, and those bonds will never ever be broken. Never ever. But today, we don't do this. When I was a medical representative, my boss used to. And that is why we are following those. Today's leaders have to understand that people don't only work for money, they work for quality of life. And quality of life can only be provided if you are going to treat your team as an extended family. Celebrate. You also celebrate na. मेरे बेटे का 80 number आया. I'm going to give him a toffee. My son has already crossed class 5th. He has passed. Okay, I will give him a cycle. So celebrate a small success. Just by one eclair, you can celebrate. Not an issue. By a cup of tea, you can celebrate. Not an issue. A flower, a rosebud of 10 rupees, you can celebrate. Celebrate. Small successes should be celebrated. And managers who celebrate small success are always successful. Because the team is with them. The extended family is with them. Celebrate a small success. Work on the strengths of the team members. As I said, I have given you examples of Hanuman, Angad, Jamvan, Nalin. Work on the strengths of team members. Improvement areas can be developed in times to come. But whatever is his strength, work on that strength. Every person, I will tell you, have some of the other strength. But when we go to field work, we only look into the improvement areas. He has not done this, he has not done this, he has not done this. But what are his strengths? He must be having 2-3 strengths. Look on those strengths, work on those strengths. Once you start focusing on their strengths, automatically you will find that he will take you as your mentor. And once he will say that you are his mentor, he will never going. Be analytical, not judgmental. Many times we say, you have not done this. Your call average is this. Ask him, how can I be a help to you to improve on this parameter? Analysis. I have analyzed, this is the gap. How both of us can together fill this gap? Because we say he is not doing this, he is not doing this. Sit with him, discuss with him. When you are in field with the person for at least 8 to 10 hours in one day. So if you are working there for 3 days with any rep, you are there at least working for 24 hours with him, minimum. In those 24 hours, be analytical, not judgmental. Ask him, how can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help you? He will tell, I want your help like this. So be analytical. Finally, coach and not teach. You have to do like this. I have told you because I am experienced. Don't coach him. Coach is always about having that insight where he has to say, okay, I have got this insight. I have got how to do this. Coach him, not teach him. Because coaching is the best exercise which you can do to retain. And finally, focus on goals and not outcomes. Because we always say, do 1 lakh, but how he is going to do 1 lakh? That how part is very important. And that is why I said, focus on goals and not on outcomes. Outcomes will follow automatically. I think this is my personal experience. And I think if any manager is going to focus on these factors, he is going to build a successful performing team where there will be no attrition and people will be staying with the team and will perform. Because when they will stay, they will perform. They have everybody who has come into the industry, everybody has come by default. But who has come into the industry has come for performing only. Give him the right direction. How to perform if the right direction is there. Many a times I say to pharma managers, your designation is wrong. Area business manager or regional business manager. your actual designation should be GPS, because actually, just like GPS is giving the direction, you also have to give the direction that what to do, and more importantly, what not to do. That is very important. So hope what I have taken a session, maybe if you are going to implement, I would love to know from all of you what is going to be what you have faced and what is the outcome you have faced. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Excellent session, sir. Please close this sharing PPT. Yes. It was a really wonderful session you have taken. Thank you very much, sir. We learned a lot on Dwapar Yuga and Treta Yuga way. So before handing over to Arpan for the next session, a brief take-home message for the benefit of the people. You have explained it so well that everything is very crystal clear. You are a very competitive study, and today's people, the major challenges, they are commercially oriented as compared to career oriented. So they are not career oriented, they are commercially oriented. And you told that what we can learn from Dwapar Yuga and Treta Yuga is clear goal, explain the mission very, very clearly to the team, identification of strength, and delegation of job to the team member as per the strength, and focus on values. Very, very important. We need to focus on values so that we can build a high performance team. And very nicely you have compared about the Ramayana Yuga and the Mahabharata Yuga, that is Treta Yuga and Dwapar Yuga. In the Ramayana Yuga, leadership was more focused, while in the Mahabharata or Dwapar Yuga, leadership along with the coaching was important. Very good insight you have given. Not only that, assignment of role as per the strength was given in the focus in the Ramayana Yuga. Angad, Hanuman were given their role as per their strength. But in Dwapar Yuga, in the Mahabharata Yuga, the more focus was on the teamwork. Individual work was there, but teamwork was more important and focus. Not only that, values and culture were very stringently followed in Ramayana Yuga. Ram was known as a person with a value. But in Dwapar Yuga, values were retained, but they were little bit tilted as compared to the competitors. So that is what is the learning from Krishna, we can say in Dwapar Yuga. You need to also modify because mission is more important. And goal achievement was a focus in Ramayana, but in Mahabharata, goal achievement with the timeline. Within 18 days, they won the war. That is what you learn. And the last but not least, you have shared 4 pillars of team. That is the very important. Trust is the most important pillar. Trust, empathy, adaptiveness, and giving clarity to the team member. What is my role? And you close by your success mantra. Identify strength, know your team, celebrate little success, work on strength of the people, be analytical, not judgmental during the review meeting particularly. Coach your team member. Don't try to teach them. Coach them and focus on the goal. And you should work as a GPS, giving direction and showing what to do, what not to do. Sir, we are really thoroughly enjoyed your session. Thank you very much once again. Questions are there, many questions. We will take questions later on. A quick recognition. Sir, a quick recognition of all the viewers who have appreciated your session. Rohit Vilankar, your own Sanjay Kumar Sharma. Sharma ji, thank you very much. Pankaj Srivastava sir, and then Satyam Tawar, thank you very much. Purnima Kannojia ma'am has appreciated, thank you very much ma'am. Raman Bhatt, thank you very much. Amir Khan, Ambati, and Abid Hussain, thank you very much. Then we have Mr. Praveen and M. Srikant and Debabrata. Thank you very much everyone for appreciation and your question. We will take question later on. Over to Arpan for the next session. Arpan, unmute.
Thank you so much, Yashwant sir. And Rahul sir, thank you for such a wonderful session. In fact, Ramayana and Mahabharata, they have always been the torch bearers for us to follow, because there are many things that we still follow which are there in Ramayana and Mahabharata. And in fact, when you said about the forming a team with Sugriv, to fight against Ravana, it's so much reminded about the informal team that is forming, norming, storming, performing, and adjourning. So that is how the total team went about. And one thing I really enjoyed was the dominance of coaching over teaching. This is more like a carrot theory, winning over a stick theory, where you actually make a person interested to learn rather than compelling the person to learn. So that is why I always feel that coaching is more important, because when a thirst is created in the person to learn, that is when the awakening happens. So it is always said that we can take a horse to the pond, but we cannot drink it. But I follow a different theory. Let us first make the horse thirsty. Then only it will go to the pond to drink water. So the role of a coach is more of trying to make the horse thirsty, make the person thirsty for knowledge. Then only the person will approach for coaching. If the person is not hungry, how will the person appreciate good food? If his stomach is full, if the person is filled up with water, how will he enjoy the beautiful drink that has been given to him? That is why it is said that when life gives you lemons, there are two ways you can go about doing it. Either you can make a beautiful lemonade and enjoy it, or you can spray the lemon in your eyes and start crying. So these are the two ways you can go about doing it. So thank you so much, Rahul sir, for such an insightful session. In fact, I really enjoyed, and from the appreciation coming from the audience, which Yashwant sir told you about, it's very clearly evident that the people have started enjoying your sessions. And just hold back, because many questions are coming after Mr. Chokalingam's session. So now it's turn for me to introduce our second speaker, Mr. Chokalingam. He is a multifaceted marketing professional who is having a 20 years of experience in the pharmaceutical industry, in which 5 years have been in sales and 15 years in marketing. Now, talking about his core skills, he has been into profit and loss management, business strategy, portfolio rationalization, experience in building big brands. By big brands, I mean 200 crore plus brands. And some of them they are very well known to each and every one of us. Budecort, Diolin, Foracort in Cipla, and then therapy shaping, KOL management, reimagination of business models, digital marketing, channel management, and rural marketing. These have all been his fortes, and he has got a very good experience in acute, chronic, and OTX segments. So let us join hands in welcoming P. Chokalingam sir, and today he is going to dwell on the managing legacy brands, which we also call as the pillar brands, and as Yashwantji said, the Chacha brands, and extending the product life cycle, because once again we all know that the product life cycle has got generally 5 stages. That is the introduction, then before that the development, then the introduction, then growth, maturity, and decline. And in between, if you can go for a product life cycle extension by way of adding some new features, product modification, product extensions, so we can definitely linger the life cycle of a product. So to know more about it, it's now over to Mr. P. Chokalingam. Sir, over to you. The stage is all yours.
Thank you very much, Arpan, and thanks, Rahul, for a very nice presentation. Whatever the strategy we do, the pillar is field team. If they do not execute, we cannot be successful. And to take home from Rahul's presentation, it was that unified goals. For example, if you got a 300 field force, roughly around 100 managers are there. If randomly pick them and call them, what are the top 3 priorities? It will be, you'll get different answers. That very nicely put out by Rahul. And also managing a new team, new generation, Gen X, not only one for success money, also for quality of life. That is a very good take home for me. Thank you very much. A very wonderful presentation, Rahul. Yeah, with this, I will take through my presentation.
Sir, unmute. Yes, it is visible. Unmute, please.
Is it okay?
Yes, yes.
So in full screen mode, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So once again, very warm good morning on the Sunday, having taken your time to have this knowledge sharing session. I thank Yashwant, Arpan, and Sharma for inviting me for this knowledge sharing session. We work together and learn together. So I'm very, very happy to share my whatever the experience I'm gained so far. Yeah. Before starting, I want to thank my all gurus when I started my career, Mr. Chandrasekhar, Mr. Sugmar, Magesh, as well as Mr. Jogir. These are all my pillars who are in sales, as well as I thank Mr. Sheikh Barakullah and and Ramesh and Gaurav. These are all, I admire them for their leadership, and they have imbibed a lot of thoughts on me, which where I am today. With this, let me start my session. So all we know, right? This is about Mumbai bus, correct? So we all struggling to grow this Mumbai bus. A lot of new transport has come, Ola, Uber, Ola Auto, as well as Metro. But this legacy Mumbai bus is and loss making. But it was one of the time it was huge revenue generation. So how do you improve the life extension of this? And employees all very old employees, and they are fighting for the increment, etc. Correct? So why thought of this? A lot of innovation is happening in Mumbai. The bus becomes small. They are coming out of the AC bus. Clear? A lot of things. They reduce the cost to improve the profit. So it is not only pharma. Every industry it happens. With this, I'll start this. Similarly, Similarly, the unrealistic ask for any marketeer is need market beating growth and profit, but the reduced budget. Similarly, need better reach and growth at reduced manpower. And top line to be achieved at any cost, along with NI and star brand surplus. It looks very unrealistic ask, but if you do a lot of new models of reimagination of models, how we can manage this legacy brand with this asked by the senior management. So some of the study survey says, as I said in the beginning of my talk, legacy brand contributes vary from 30 to 60% to many pharma companies, which include big brands, not only a legacy brand, which clearly stated that big brands are big revenue generator, as Yasin said. Clear? For example, Sanofi, 62% of the business come from only 14 brands, correct? And Alchem, it's almost 40% of the business come from only 16 brands, all are above 100 crore. And Cipla, 40% business come from 19 brands, more than 100 crore. And 38% business come from micro labs, from 20 brands, the one brand which contributes to close to about 13-14%, which all know. Similarly, Sun Pharma, 13% contribution from 24%. So it's clearly said, say that it is bigger brands is going to be a revenue generator, and also it's give you the cash flow to grow star brands as well as new brands. So how do we manage these brands, which is very vital. So today what I'm going to take is, I will not say any of the theory, correct? This is whatever I have done in my best marketing practices, I'm sharing with you. I can see the broad strategy and business models, but you have to customize to your based on your business what you handle. Some strategic tacticals may change based on your brand presence and company strength and opportunities. So the legacy brands I wanted to segment to easy to remember, it should be 90-60-30 model. Clear? How we segment the legacy brand? 90-60-30 model. What is that 90-60-30 model? For example, some of the legacy brand has got 90% refill market. Only 10% is a prescription market. Say example, Aspirin inhaler, amlodipine, cardiac segment, and acute segment refilling. These are all 90% refill. There is no much new prescription. So we have to categorize this different. It is not the one size fit for all. First, we have to segment the legacy brand and design the strategy accordingly. So there are some similarity, but it is not same. Correct? Second, 60% RX and 40% OTC. Clear? For example, brands like diclofenac, aceclofenac, chlorzoxone muscle relaxants, and ciprofloxacin, amoxicillin. These are mature brand at the mature legacy stage, end of the product cycle. Still, it can grow at less cost. How it can do? Third category, 30 RX, 30% RX, and 70% OTX component. I call it as OTX category. So refill legacy category, RX legacy category, and OTX legacy category. Some of it looks like this, and the refill and OTX looks similar. But I would like to highlight, mostly, not 100%. If you look at this, new patient acquisition strategy may not be applicable for refill legacy strategy. Clear? And treatment adherence, yes, most of the chronic patient, if the product is not available, patient miss the dose, correct? For example, inhaler, there was survey says that close to about only the patient take only 2.5 inhalers in a year, which closely about only 40% of the treatment adherence. So 60%, it is an opportunity for us. Similarly, the tablet is not available, patient may delay for 4-5 days or 3-4 days, or they may take other brands sometimes. So what we have the opportunity loss. So the Bureau studies clearly say the opportunity loss of this, the availability and this, it around account from 5 to 20%. It varies from brand to brand. So clear-cut opportunity loss. So we need to adopt the strategy to avoid this opportunity loss of 5 to 10% because of the non-availability of the brand. Even the patient has to take 6 months therapy, the patient is taking 4 months, the 2 months is opportunity loss wise. When it comes to RX category, I would say the clear-cut example, as I said, diclofenac, ciprofloxacin, and this. No one is going to on the market go and ask, give me ciprofloxacin. Okay, clear. So where are the difference here? Patient go and ask, give me some name the brand and ask for NS, ask for this tablet, ask for this tablet. Here, no patient going to ask that, give me a, they may state the problem, but they will not ask for the brand. Correct? And also no patient will go into the market and ask, give me ciprofloxacin 500 tablets. They will not ask for it. So which is a little bit RX driven and OTX driven. Also because chemists can push this. And third category is, as I said, OTX category. Like Bicassol's Betnovate, it is very, very less prescription. It is closely about, mostly it is all about OTX. This chemist play a major role. So what is the key difference between the three categories? The first category, refill category, as I said, first refill RX is 10%. The new patient acquisition is not happening. Whereas in RX category, this patient, diclofenac, ibuprofen, as well as ibupara, all these all things comes. Ciprofloxacin, this is all the patient, the new patient. I got an infection, I got a pain, and then I go to the pharmacies or I go to the doctor and get the medications. Correct? So this difference is this little bit, this matured categories is moved towards, if you look at this class towns, these brands still is good in rural areas because maybe the resistance of this antibiotic molecule or some still senior doctors in the rural market still want to prefer. They are late adopters. They wanted the gold standard molecule. Still they prefer that. Okay? Many doctors still use amoxicillin and diclofenac as the preferred painkiller rather than any other one. Similarly, OTX category. Here the change is that you can see here, OTX category, we will have a new patient acquisition. This is the difference between 30% RX and 90% refill. We may not have to play for new patient here, whereas in the 30% RX, we have to play new patient. Clear? To some extent, patient adherence may not play much importance because patient may take, may not take. So some of the examples are Bicassol's, Betnovate, Ranitidine, and Ibupara. These are the brands comes under this category. Now let us see if I segment it. First, I have to segment in this basket. Okay? Then I have to adopt the strategy. What strategy should be adopted? Each segment 1, segment 2, segment 3. That is 90% refill strategy. That is refill legacy brands, RX category, and OTX category. So what are the major strategic approach you should follow? Clear, especially in mature legacy brand. There are broadly, it is into the 3 categories. One is a demand generation. Still, there is a scope for demand generation, as I said in the previous slide, for diclofenac or ciprofloxacin, norfloxacin, and amoxicillin, and muscle relaxants. There is a lot of scope for prescription or demand generation. Another one is demand fulfillment. Only there's a demand exists by the patient. It's all patient refill products, I would say. Only the supply is the matter. Only demand is there, only fulfillment. What is the demand? Capitalization. There is opportunity. If we push our product through retail, you can increase our sales. We can get more newer patient here. This is the difference between demand fulfillment. We may not add more new patient, but whatever the demand, we'll reduce the substitution, reduce the non-availability and fulfill it, or increase the supply point and fulfill it. Here, there is a influencer will be there. There will be influencer is chemist or maybe a channel partner. So I forgot to mention here. Here, I'll go back to the previous slide. Here, if you look at, there's an influencer to maintain the sale or avoid adherence, correct? Retail cannot, no patient will go to this, I have a asthma, give me a salbutamol implant. I have BP, give you a amlodipine tablet, correct? So existing patient, the refill can be done. Chemist cannot much influence on the increase the user or patient. Whereas this category, OTX category, chemists play a major role. Here patient only play a major role. Here chemist only play a major role. Or the mid category, doctor still has a say, especially in class 2 to rural market. So who is the influencer we need to find? Here, chemist and patient is the influencer, but the chemist cannot push this product to the patient. Here, chemist can push the product to the patient because the product nature characteristics like this. Here, doctor prescription is still relevant to some extent. Not I would say the 100% doctor focus, it will be a different approach. So with this, I will take you through the next slide. The first category is how we are going to approach. The category products are there if it is 90% refill and 10% RX category. As I said, it's applicable in across segments, maybe a chronic segment or semi-chronic segment like this. As I said, Delifilin, it's semi-chronic, and then this amlodipine salbutamol market. It is used in acute. Wherever the breathlessness goes up, they may use this. Correct? Here, we cannot focus on new patient acquisition, but we'll focus on this is the category where I will play the card only on demand fulfillment. So what are the three strategically I will do? Channel play. Many organizations strongly believe that this kind of legacy brand can be managed only through physical reach. Actually, it is not. Because there's a lot of hesitation to rationalize the manpower. Clear, and there is an alternative way of looking to this demand fulfillment with lean structure. That is the organization currently looking for, with reduced manpower, how we can improve the profitability and sustain the growth. This is not the future brand, but at least can be maintained the sustainable growth. So we can have a lean structure and we can manage the P&L. This is one model you can adopt. So what are the channel play? Stock is across channel, end to end. We need to play within the compliance. A lot of programs we can announce. It is not a push that whatever the UCP guidelines, a lot of engagement, channel engagement has to be managed. This is purely a channel driven brand, I would say. It is not a doctor driven. It is all only about the more the availability, less the substitution, you are going to get the sales. You are going to get the growth. As I said in the beginning of the talk, maybe around 5 to 7% is the sales loss because of that. So such brand, I would say, the brand, for example, amlodipine in the market is 0% growth, atorvastatin 0% growth. So which means we may not be able to grow 20%, but we can grow to 3 to 5% more with less cost, with the 50% less cost. Correct? That is more important. So that is the opportunity, business opportunity. Second lever, what we need to do, as I said, class 2 to rural. Many areas, many of them must have worked on stockists, sub-stockists, but there is another unexplored channels or the hub chemist, especially in rural area where the chemist play a major role. He directly supply to the many non-MBBS doctor as well as attached dispensing doctor, where the stockist cannot able to reach. Even sub-stockists cannot go. Even the rural reach is very less. Clear? As I said, this model is, as I said in the beginning, if you reduce the manpower, how do we reach? We have to adopt the digital as well as this channel. There are a lot of digital players are there in the market who can help us to reach our products in different channel across the channels and improve the supply parts. Correct? A lot of established players are there in the market. So we can take their help and do it with less manpower cost. That is the strategy we can adopt. And cost optimization, as I said, it is not necessarily that for these brands, many of the company have got portfolio like this along with the progressive brand. So our field force tendency to work to get the sales by push this brand, and they may not focus on progressive brand or star brands. So that is the reason we should have a lean structure approach compared to the traditional structure. What we follow, the reach is the big model. I have a 300 crore brand, I should have 600 field force. It is not so. The way of doing marketing has been changed. Yeah. So and revisiting payroll also. It is not that they look a highly skilled TM is required for this kind of business model. We can also adopt like managing a third party and different model you can adopt. Clear? And cost optimization. We as a brand manager, marketeer, as well as business head, we should look at from API to packaging material across. We should look how we can optimize the cost, because here the product, of course, we can do with the less cost some innovation in the product as well. Clear? So because already we have the cost constraint here. So how we can improve the profitability by doing this packaging, innovation, etc. Clear? A lot of size, because the volume is very huge. Even 10 paise per strip or per tablet, it may add 10 crore to the brand. We have made some structural changes like this. Small saying, changing the strip of the annual strip size, if we could be able to save the cost more than 14 crore. Clear? Because the volume is very high. So 10 crore is in the current context, it is very high. So as a marketeer, as a business, how we can give the more profitability with making a little change in this. And we can also look for, if you're manufacturing in-house, can we look for a third party to have an optimal cost? And because already the manufacturing, a lot of stress is not there for the progressive brands. So second category, this RX category, that is 60% RX. So as I said, 90 is that model, 60 is the model, 60% RX and 40% OTC. How do we approach? Here the change is that doctors still play a influential role, more so in class 2 to rural markets. So here the newer patient acquisition still happens. It is not that muscle relaxant has been consumed over the years. It will not. In acute condition, they will take, after that they may not. Similarly, paracetamol, amoxicillin. Why paracetamol, though it does not come in this mature legacy stick, because the growth is more than 20%. Why I mentioned is because paracetamol also taken in over the counter as well as RX. So we need a different approach. It is not the conventional approach, only the way to grow. This is the thought process has to be very different. Clear? And rural RX, as I said, this since the doctor is a player role, we should adopt hybrid and channel model. Previous one, what I said, it is a purely channel play. Here we should play both RX and channel play. And also rural RX, I said, still there's senior doctors as well as the resistant. I don't go to doctor, I work in depth in rural area. Doctor clearly says still the nitrofurantoin works very well for UT infection. Still amoxicillin work for just sore throat or respiratory infection. Clear? So there is difference. So because there is not abuse of antibiotic much in rural areas and places, and then especially senior doctors. So whereas in metro and class 1 towns, a lot of newer antibiotic has been used. So that is a lot of resistance also happens. Clear? For clear-cut example, cefixime and nitrofurantoin as well as amoxicillin. So nitrofurantoin, clear example of antibiotic recycle. So what happened in the past, it was resistant. Now it is patients are responding to that. So this is the scope to expand in rural market, not in metro and class 1 town. So again, important factor is in such model, you should look at it, how your brands are placed. Some brands will have a regional skew. So our manpower optimization has to be done in depth or penetration as where we are having high reach. So if I am a marketeer, I may not place more manpower in metro because the growth opportunity is limited. If I got only the 300 manpower, I may reduce 10-20%, but I move the manpower to mostly in maybe a 70-30 model. 70% they are placed at class 1 rural market rather metro and class 1. With the less manpower cost, and I can do better sales, better growth also. So it is not the same customer, they are placed in the same headquarter. We are not able to, they may continue to degrow because the market opportunity is less in such geographies. So one is the geographic play also we have to based on the internal brands. And as well as I said, this area is important, especially RX segment. If the product is not available, a lot of V2 player and regional players are there here because the number of brands are more in each category, more than 200 to 150 brands available. So the retail channel push is also important. So here we'll play both demand generation and demand fulfillment. So a lot of retail activation and seasonal activation has to be done so that that particular agent, they'll take your brand. Otherwise, the brand is not available. It is acute. Most of the brands comes under acute category. So what happens? The patient may go for alternative brand option. So retailer and doctor both will play a role. First model, only retailer and patient will play a major role. Here, retailer and doctor will play a major role. So, and also we can have a very lean structure on this in organization. So that will be helpful for this. So, and also, as I said in the S1G in the beginning, we have to move from the old conventional approach to DigiMR. So many companies have started adopting this. We also started adopting that. A lot of digital MR and multi-channel marketing, so that the cost is reduced but the reach still to the doctor is happening, correct? So in the digital way, the very less cost, we can reach the doctor and digital. Even doctor do not want such brands 2 visit, 3 visit, even stay relevant, that is more than sufficient. It's not the doctor want to be just hammering on this diclofenac brand and they want a regular visit, 2 visit, 3 visits. Doctor do not expect for such brands. So that is an opportunity for us, even doctor happy to have a digital reminders inside. Then third model is that it is 30% RX and 70% OTX category. Here, this is an important role. As I said, it is unlike this antibiotic. This doctor will not play a major role, but it is predominantly, especially analgesic, as well as this vitamins and eye drops, is predominantly driven by chemist. There is a say that the 5 to 20% growth can come from chemist or retailer. Okay, this is important at especially at channel play. Okay? First category, as I said, chemist can only fulfill the demand, but he cannot influence the sale or increase the patient usage. Where here the big difference is the chemist can add new patient for you, correct? So you can first is avoid substitution. Second is you can also push the product to the chemist in place of other brand if your brand recall is high. So what are the 3 major activation you have to do? Multi-channel marketing, seasonal activation, and retailer and channel. All the 3 strategy we need to adopt. With this, more digital is required. Why? Because the cost optimization we cannot reach only through physical manpower reach. So my recommendation is maintain brand share of voice, brand recall through multi-channel marketing, doctor, chemist, as well as team, correct, to make more innovation. And whenever the seasonal comes, like Silver X, eye drop, Brigossus, and iPara, you can also do some seasonal activation, part-time activation or reach also to the doctor. So that because some of the brand has got 60-70% of the sales only during the season. So we can optimize our manpower resources as well as promotion accordingly. And cost optimization here also is applicable. Lean structure, revisiting payroll, and API to PM. Active pharmaceutical ingredient to product packaging material. We have to look at it to optimize the cost. I always say many brand managers spend most of the time looking at in operational. So every brand look like at the CEO, brand managers as well as marketing. So that has to work, and so definitely they can add a lot of profitability to the organization. So this model, as I said, out of the 3 structure strategic lever here, demand capitalization play a major role. So because there is a demand, if I'm more active, I will take more share. Or if someone is active, he'll take more share. So there is a demand. Who is the faster and more active? Fast, more active, they will get the demand share. So that is the play game in it. That's all from my end. So there is always the reimagining of business. It is not the old way of doing it. So reimagination of legacy promotion and new path to success. The important aspect is that it is not only give a legacy brand growth, but the field team can focus on the star brand or progressive brand. So that also will add value to the company. The organization wants to build a future brand. At the same time, they wanted to maintain the revenue from the legacy brand, which is a cash flow for us. Okay. That's all. This is my contact details. Anybody wants to reach out me and any suggestion and recommendation, I also eager to learn from you. Thank you very much once again for the opportunity, Mr. Ashwin.
Thank you so much, Shokalingam sir, for such a insightful presentation. In fact, building legacy brands and how to prolong the life cycle of a product, these were the 2 things that you have thrown a lot of light upon. Just to summarize what you have just narrated, in fact, you have named quite a number of organizations, companies like Sanofi, Alkem, and Cipla. In case of Sanofi, there is a 62% contribution from around 14 brands, with Alkem around the 47% contribution from 16 brands, and in Cipla, it's a 40% contribution from 19 brands. The most interesting part was the 90-60-30 model. Yes, it was really, really very insightful. In fact, you have also shown the three categories. That is the legacy category, where it is 90% refill and 10% prescription. Then there is the prescription legacy category, which is 60% prescription and 40% OTC. And with the OTX legacy category, it is 30% prescription and 70% OTX. There was a wonderful insight on the strategic approach also, which was about demand generation, the demand fulfillment, and of course, the demand capitalization. And then you have also been very categorical on these three things. That is the refill legacy category, where you told about the three very important points. That is the channel play, the unexplored channel, and the cost optimization. In case of the prescription legacy category, it is the rural prescription class 2 to rural prescription, the targeted geoplay, and the retail channel push. And in the third category, that is the OTX legacy category, it is the brand recall through MCM, then the seasonal activation, that is of doctors and channels, and of course, the cost optimization. I'm sure our audience have gained a lot of insight from your deliberation, and they also have got a lot of questions for you waiting. So I'll go over directly to Yashwant sir, because I think he has got some questions from YouTube as well as Facebook. So Yashwant sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, Arpan. Thank you very much. Lingam sir, fantastic session, fantastic. You have upgraded ourselves on marketing insights. Thank you very much. We really thoroughly enjoyed the session. Lot of appreciations are coming. Let me tell, Piyush Mukherjee has presented great insight in Chokalingam. I thoroughly enjoyed. Raman Bhatt says, wonderful session. And that is what is required in today's situation. Nice presentation. Ashwin Joshi says, nice presentation, sir. Raman Bhatt again, great segmentation of legacy brand. Great strategy for all the three segments. Sir, thank you very much. Excellent presentation of making marketing concept in the various category segment by Mr. Chokalingam. Between new patient and treatment adherence. Bipin Kumar Dixit says, good insight. He is from Ethiopia. Bipin Kumar Dixit, I am joining from Ethiopia. I thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you, Bipin, for joining. So nice interaction. So let me go to the questions now. One question is Prashant Menon sir also have appreciated. He is a regular viewer and speaker in our LPC asset. Nice and practical examples you have given. So Raman Bhatt has asked, Rahul sir, question to you, how to sync the values and culture of organization in person joining? Whenever new joining person comes, values and culture, so integration, how we can orient them. You are from sales and training background also, so you can give good insight. You can give good insight.
First of all, from Chokalingam sir's presentation, even I have learned a lot of things, like he said, legacy brands and all those things. And my thoughts process are also refreshed from that, because that what to do in such a situation, So thank you, sir. Thank you for that. And as you said, I was also looking on this question, like how to sync the values and culture in the person joining. As I said, when a baby is born, the culture is given by the mother. Similarly, for a person joining, the mother is the area manager. And when a person is joining, then the area manager has to spend, I think, at least 20 to 30% of his time with the new joining person and inculcate the values and culture of the organization. What happens in today's world, that many times the area manager is busy in other territories because he thinks that I'm going to get business from the other territories. So he focuses more on those territories because at the end of the day, he has to do numbers. In that, where the new baby is always looking for someone who is going to guide me, And that is why the culture of the organization is not imbibed by them. So my suggestion is that whenever there is a new joinee, at least 30% of the time the area manager has to spend with him. When he is not in his territory, every day, morning, evening, twice at least, he should talk to him, what he has done, how to be done, what problems he is facing, what help he can extend. And if he can build on that, all these things, that person is going to be retained and he will get the values and culture of the company. If he will feel that he is alone, one day he will escape. This is 100% it is there. And that is why there are certain area managers whom have got always high attrition, because they are focusing only on numbers and never on people. So it is very important that just like a mother, a newborn baby, mother takes care of every day that she does some malish so that she is strong. Here he has to do the malish of values and culture. That is very important.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Great insight. So some of your colleagues only have given some comment also. Rakesh Jain, sir, nowadays will to grow or learn is missing. Will to grow or learn is missing. Most of the employees want easy and fast money. So how to deal with such candidates? A commercial orientation, what you were talking about.
Yeah.
So how to inculcate that career orientation in that? These are a very relevant question.
Yeah, as I said, that commercial orientation is growing on. And it is very important that, okay, commercial orientation is not bad. But at the same time, as I said, if you will feel that he is not my employee, he is not my subordinate. Many times people say subordinate, and I don't like this word subordinate. I never like this word. He is my colleague, he is my extended family member. And the day I will start treating them as my extended family member, the things are going to improve. But most of the time, when I also talk to many managers, they'll talk in language, he is my subordinate, he is doing like this. So never think that he is your subordinate. Think like he is your extended family members. And I am 100% sure that things will improve, because people don't only work for commercial gains, they also work for quality of life. And quality of life means that both of you are working as an extended family.
Yes, sir. Very, very good practical thing you told, sir. What happens is during the training program, we try to give them good environment. When the people go to the field, then mara-mari chalu ho jata hai, then that is a problem. So it is very important that continuous positive stroke should be given.
Yes.
A family environment should be given. That is very good important thing you told. A strong team only can bring a good business. So
Yes,
stability
yes,
of
yes.
team is very, very important.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Some of your colleagues have shared great session. Rahul sir, Karan Malhotra has shared. Bharat Nagor, sir, it was great session. Thoroughly enjoyed. Rahul sir. Lawrence Cyrus, sir, great session. Thank you very much for enlightening. Ravindra Isai, sir, thoroughly enjoyed. Manish Shoy, excellent presentation, sir, and very relevant in today's contest. Lingam sir, there are a lot of appreciation coming from Sipla people. Kushagra Mathur has appreciated. Nitin Sasani sir has appreciated, because the way you have given insight is crystal clear. So one question is there from Kushagra Mathur. Sir, you rightly said that legacy brands are the very important thing and the pillars, but it is said that new brands are the future of the organization. So your input on that, how to build new brands, if you can give some insights on how to build new brands also.
Yeah, the good question asked by Kushagar, my friend. So as I said, the model, what I said is important. That's why I highlight a little brief in my talk. So some of the division will have both legacy as well as progressive brands. We have to take some bold step to move out of this and take the legacy portfolios out of this current business unit, because coconut tree cannot grow under banyan tree, correct? So it is not possible. So this both managing legacy as well as NI require different approach. We have to approach a different model. So unless until if you are having in the same category, therapy complements each other and it has a growth future potential, we should have it should be in the same team. Otherwise, the different business model to be adopted. There are many companies like Sanofi has done, Pfizer has done, myself have done, Cipla. So this product has to be managed separately. That is the first point. So it's not many organizations have a tough call because of the productivity. Clear? And an average industry may expect 3 lakhs, 5 to 5 lakhs, vary from organization to organization. The dependency of the legacy brand is around 70-80%. So that itself a killer actually. They are not able to do because as a TM, for me, what is the low hanging fruit you continue to sell? But after over a period of time, organization after 5-10 years, they realize that I not build new brand. I got legacy. So this brand has to be differently promoted by different team. That is important unless until the promising growth is there. Okay. So that's the first approach of bold. It is very difficult to take the step. Some business and leader you have to take. So that is the first approach I would suggest. So if any division has got a both, unless until it's not complementing each other, we have to differentiate or have a different team promotion.
Excellent, sir. Excellent insight you have given. We would like to have your session on new brand also sometimes, definitely. And sir, one more question from Sadish Jagan, and he is saying that most of the companies are adopting digital marketing. Being the marketing head of a growing organization, what is your saying on that? What is the future of digital marketing? It is going to remain there, or digital will be the concept? Your take on that.
Yeah, it is. As I said, it should be a digital because digital fatigue also has come during COVID. You know that everybody agrees that. But if you are not adopting digital marketing, even in terms of brand promotion as well as share of voice, we are not ready for the future. So any future-ready organization must adopt across marketing, promotion, and process. All the three we need to adopt. For example, I highlighted. In channel also we have tied up the company who is supported on digital play. There's a lot of digital reward point, digital training platform, and digital way to reach customers. For example, on an average, it vary from company to company. To per doctor call is close to about 350 to 500 rupees. Correct? So through the digital way, how we can empower within 5 rupees, 10 rupees, how we can reach. Many companies ready to make a doctor call with 30 rupees. They will do digitally with same 3 touch points. Organization are there. So we need to explore that. Of course, having said that, we have to understand the need. I needed two-way communication or one-way communication. As I said in the brand category 1, correct? It is always 90%. It is almost a refill, or the last category is at 30% is only RX. Just using the one-way communication, doctor wants just a brand recall of amoxicillin or brand recall of us. They do not want more. You have to give something to write. It is not. Stay relevant and improve the share of voice. So there, how I can, as a marketer, think a broader way. What a many brand manager, emerging budding brand manager mean, digital marketing mean WhatsApp and mail or send a video. It is not. It is not. So what is our share of mind? The share of voice is different. Share of mind is different. Have we got the share of mind and close the call? Correct. So that is more aspect we should look at it. Digital is not only E input is not a digital. Correct. The way that replays, the way we market the MR, the Digi MR, that's why I highlighted. You should be act like a Digi MR. So that should be the approach we should have.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for giving insight.
Lot of resources available.
So a lot of knowledge to get from you. And coincidentally, I and Arpan are both the most reached person, enriched. Every session we do briefing and debriefing, and we learn in the process. That is how we are becoming richer and richer in knowledge. Thank you very much, sir. And lot of comments are coming that today's both the topics are very much relevant in today's situation and very much thoughtful selection of the topics. Thank you very much, everyone, for appreciating our topic also. And again, thank you very much, Nitin Srivastav, for appreciation. Devabrata Majumdar, Raman Bhatt, lot of question asked and appreciation. Vipul Kumar Dikshit from Ethiopia. Thank you very much, everyone. Ashwini Joshi, nice presentation, sir. Ranjit Prasad Singh, I think recognized. Piyush Mukherjee, thank you very much. Kuldeep Solanki, he is our event partner for LPC 125. Such insightful and practical based presentation. Thank you very much. So all of you, thank you very much. We really thoroughly enjoyed. Before handing over session to Arpan, I would like to have the closing remark from both the speakers. Sir, once again, thank you for accepting our invite. Your feedback on today's session, what is your take? Rahul sir, closing remarks.
Yashwanji, your LPC already is 123rd episode is there, so it's gaining success with every episode. 125th episode, you are doing it in a grand way, and I think this is one platform which is enriching the knowledge. As you said, somebody have joined from outside from India. Also, you were naming the name. So entire world people are connecting with LPC, and that is a very great that every Sunday you are spreading the light of knowledge to all pharma colleagues. I think hats off to both of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for appreciation. Lingam, sir, your remarks. Please unmute.
Yeah, as I said by Arpan during the initial session, only thing nobody can take away is from us is knowledge, correct? Rest all can be replaced and changed, correct? So in the current digital era, you have taken a very bold step, and thanks to LPC team. So digitally you're reaching, and many empowerment is happening. As you rightly said, I could learn something from Rahul today. I could learn from Arpan today, as well as SNG, everybody, correct? That cross learning and consistently to happen. That is actually we are not sharpening the axe. We are spending more time on cutting the tree, correct? That is one. And wish you all the best in cricket. A double century is it's a big milestone. I wish you all the best. You also achieve the double century soon with many empowerment of knowledge, and you are going to create many speakers. And also, I request to give a lot of chance to young buddies who are not having the platform. It is a great service. We can do this our former professional. So thank you. I really admire your initiative, SNG, as well as Arpan, as well as Sarma, Verma, everybody, right? And all your core leadership team. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We look forward to you again in the platform. Also in our Ahmedabad conclave, if time permits, do come and join us in our LPC 125, which is scheduled on Sunday, 11 September. We would love to have you as a panel member. And before handing over again to Arpan, thank you very much all the viewers for your continuous encouragement and support. We are really obliged and grateful for all from each and every viewer. That every Sunday you log in and encourage us to continue this and take it to greater height. Please don't forget to register for LPC 125 Conclave, which is going to be a big grand celebration of LPC 125 episode in Ahmedabad. Over to Arpan.
Thank you, Yashwant sir. Well, it said that if you are persistent, we'll get there. But if you are consistent, we'll stay there. And that's what LPC has been about, the consistency that we have maintained week after week as far as learning and development is concerned, that has carried us so far. And we look forward to your support and blessings so that we can continue the learning journey in a much bigger way. And we are also looking forward to your support and participation in the LPC 125 Conclave at Ahmedabad on the 11th of September, which is just a fortnight away. As Choklingam sir was speaking about, there is something known as the adoption life cycle, where we have 5 categories: the innovators, the early adopters, the early majority, the late majority, and the laggards. And while dealing with the legacy brand, we actually went into the debrief of how we are going to categorize each of these customers into our new brands as well as the old brands. So generally, as we say, the legacy brands or the pillar brands, they are more towards the late adopters and the laggards who always take a lot of time to come into the newer brands. But always there are innovators, the early adopters, and the early majority who are there to give us the sale as far as the new brands are concerned. And that is how we are also going to linger the product life cycle by bringing brand extensions and product modification, so that between maturity and decline, the gap is pretty large, so that we can churn some more revenues out of the old products that are still existing. So thank you so much for such wonderful insights. And once again, Rahul sir, thank you so much for the beautiful demarcation of coaching and teaching. Because as I said, one is giving the carrot and other is hitting people with the stick. So it is always beautiful, more important to convince people than to coerce people. So thank you so much for the wonderful knowledge. Now it is time for me to thank our support partners, that is Imagica Health, who have been with us session after session, giving their session support to us. So please continue your session support. We are thoroughly indebted to you. A small word of caution that we are still not yet with COVID. So please maintain the COVID appropriate behaviors of SMS, that is social distancing, mask and sanitization, along with the compulsory vaccinations for COVID. Let us keep our environment clean and green, because this is the biggest gift we can give to our next generation. As we all know that we do not have planet B. So all we can manage is keeping our planet clean and green. And before we end the session, there is a story that I always narrate at the end of a session. And today's story goes like this. An old lady had lost her husband just a few days back. And the funeral rites were completed, and she was weeping, sitting in her room all alone. She was just going through the files that he had kept in the closet, so that she could find out whatever bank accounts and everything were there, and she was slowly bringing them out. And when that was a time, she discovered that there was a secret locker inside the closet. Now, whenever we discover something we haven't seen before, there is always a skepticism in our mind which comes. The first thought that came to her mind was that, let me hope that I don't discover something wrong about my husband, because she has spent her entire married life with him and she was so happy and he had been absolutely loyal to her. So she hoped that she doesn't discover anything that is going to change the mindset of her about her husband. So with trembling eyes, she opened the secret compartment of the locker and put her hands in. Her hands touched a glossy paper. Very much intrigued, she put her hand a little bit more inside, and then she took it out. The first thing that came out was a red kite. The second, a blue kite. The third, a green kite. The fourth, a orange kite. Immediately, a thought crossed her mind about what her husband used to say. That next day I am free, I am going to go to the terrace and fly the kite, because I really enjoy flying the kites. When they go high, I feel that it is my attitude that is flying high in the sky. She used to tell her husband, why don't you do so this Sunday? Her husband used to say, no, this Sunday I have a overtime. So maybe next Sunday or the other Sunday when I'll be free, I'll do it. But that Sunday never came. He used to work hard from dawn to dusk, and in the process, his life went away. Sometimes, friends, what happens? We often sacrifice our life to earn our livelihood. How many of you have got the kites in your closet? Please don't keep the kites in the closet, because that is not a place where kites should be kept. The sky is a place where the kite should be flying. So let us not put all our life into earning our livelihood. As Rahul sir said, that is very important to have a work-life balance. So it is important to work, but at the same time, it is very important to cherish our passions, and whatever things we have in our heart, let them fly high in the sky. So, dear friends, a small advice to you. Please don't waste all your time working and working and working, because you will be earning and earning and earning. Then where will you be living? Nowhere. So don't keep the kites in your cupboard, in your closet. Go to the terrace and fly them high, and you will find that your happiness is also flying in the sky. And thereby, you will find that that is the perfect balance that we call the work-life balance. So thank you so much, friends. This is Arpan Kumar Paul, thanking all our speakers, Mr. Chokalingam and Rahul sir. It's thanking Yashwant sir for giving such a lot of inputs and a wonderful summarizations of our speakers' deliberation. So thank you so much, our audience, for being with us and sharing your thoughts, because it is only because of you that we are coming week after week and carrying out this wonderful knowledge learning session. So this is Arpan Kumar Paul telling goodbye to all of you. Have a wonderful Sunday afternoon and a great Sunday evening. We are going to reconnect with you next Sunday, 11 o'clock, with a new set of speakers, a new set of thoughts, and a new set of knowledge sharing. And please don't forget, just around the corner, a fortnight away, is the LPC 125 Conclave. So don't forget to register. We are waiting to welcome you at Ahmedabad. Thank you so much. Goodbye and namaste.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you very much, everyone. So from here, I'm ending this meeting. Thank you.